From an African perspective, climate justice is about historic and current inequalities. Africa contributes the least per person to global emissions but suffers some of the harshest impacts. So the issue is deeply moral, political, and legal. Framing climate justice. Climate justice is not only about CO, but also about human rights, dignity, and equality between peoples. Africa has some of the lowest per capita emissions in the world, yet faces severe droughts, floods, cyclones, and crop failures that threaten lives and livelihoods. Protecting the climate is increasingly treated as a legal duty linked to human rights and the right to a healthy environment. Highlighting Africa's burden. Africa's share of historical emissions is small, but every fraction of a degree of warming destroys livelihoods, ecosystems, and public health across the continent. Concrete impacts include loss of homes and coastal land, destruction of infrastructure, forced displacement, food and water insecurity. These losses and damages are not only economic, they also affect cultures, community ties, spiritual sites, and heritage. Linking climate, colonialism, and reparations. Many African movements see the climate crisis as tied to colonial and neo-colonial systems that extracted African resources while externalizing environmental risks. This is why there are growing calls for climate reparations, canceling unjust debt, providing substantial finance, sharing technology, and shifting real power to local communities, especially women. Influencers can also criticize false solutions, such as some carbon markets or extractive megaprojects that continue land grabs and displacement instead of protecting people. Lifting up African political voices. The African Union and regional bodies promote a vision based on equity, common but differentiated responsibilities, and the right to development, insisting that support from rich countries is an obligation, not charity. African states and civil society, pushing courts and UN spaces for stronger recognition of big emitters, responsibilities, and for binding duties to protect those most affected. Pan-African positions increasingly link climate, peace, and health, arguing that climate injustice fuels conflict and undermines well-being, showing African solutions and leadership. African communities are not only victims, but also leaders, with local knowledge, youth and women's movements, and innovative adaptation projects in farming, water, energy, and cities. Examples include climate-smart agriculture, community-led coastal protection, health initiatives that integrate climate risks, and popular education on climate justice. The core message an influencer can push is, climate justice for Africa means stopping dangerous warming, repairing the harms already suffered, and shifting power and resources to those on the front lines of the crisis.